Hi, everybody. It's Cyndi. Chris couldn't join me, but he told me that I could take some time to share with you. I've been having so much fun every week, and I wanted to just connect and share a little bit about what's been coming up and through. But first, whether you're here with me live or you're watching later, if you could just join with me now in taking a breath. Closing your eyes, taking a step back, and letting our holiness lead. The Course teaches us that this is all a dream, and that what we are is one in the body of Christ, one joined with each other, and that we already have everything that we want, and all the corrections, all the healing that is required needs to just take place in the mind. And before I begin, it won't be a long hour-long conversation today. There's just an experience really that I want to take you through. But first, is this not cool? All these conversations I've had with Chris over these last couple of weeks, I've gotten a little, I don't know, jealous, but I felt an inner yearning to have some of the stuff from his store, and I received some of his shirts last week, and I've been living in them. They make me feel really good, and this one's comfortable and beautiful, and I love it, and I'm really excited about it. So sorry for the delays. There's a lot of energy going through, and there's a lot of space, and when I sat the last couple of days with what I wanted to share today, I started thinking about lesson 11. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. And if you are like me, then perhaps the world at times can feel insane. And this week, just in the last couple of weeks, I've been dealing with somebody getting into my bank account. I've been dealing with perhaps the ending, or at least the restructuring of my romantic relationship. I've been dealing with some stuff with my girls, my life, all different sorts of things. And it all looks like it's happening outside, that the world outside of me is occurring, and I have to do what I can for it. But the Course teaches us, that everything we are seeing in the outside world is an effect of the ideas, the thoughts in our mind. And we don't even have to believe that. We just have to be willing to see that it's true. Which means that, let me give you an example, and then I'm gonna do something with you that I think you're gonna really like. Somebody got into my bank account and started draining the funds, and I caught it right away. And what I felt inside was that I had been attacked, and I felt fear, as if momentarily, as if I was in danger in the world. But because I've been practicing all of these lessons and everything that the Course teaches us and other similar types of experiences have been teaching us, I reverted into the training, and as it occurred, I took a step back and looked and recognized that I was experiencing fear. The fear came from my belief that something in the world could hurt me. And I was feeling a little bit chaotic. I was feeling attacked. It was scary. But instead of staying there, I noticed it in the mind, breathed through it, watched it, and then went back to the lessons. I looked at the fear and I remembered that I could basically be in danger nowhere in the world. And I breathed into that. And I breathed into the fact that my meaningless thoughts are what showed me a meaningless world. And it's this meaningless world that endangers fear, and God did not create a meaningless world. And as I looked at those lessons and I breathed and I remembered that it was my thoughts of the images that I have made. So even though it really looked like someone outside of me was attacking my well-being, because I am fully committed to what we're doing here, I recognized that what I was seeing in the world could only be occurring because I was holding somewhere in my being, in myself, fear. Fear that I could be attacked, fear that I was at risk. And as soon as I noticed that, I got still and I rested and I watched that, and I went back into the lessons, into a version of what I'm going to share with you right now. And as I did that, I felt a quieting and an expansion and a peace happening inside of me. And as I did that, new perceptions were showing up in my world. I recognized that even though money had been taken out of my account, I caught it right away and we stopped it, and it's going to be returned to me. I noticed that and remembered that who I am is not a body, it's not a bank account, it's not a social security number. So who I am can never be attacked by the world. And as I continued to look at that, not only did all of those things occur, I also invited in all this energy through this work to heal the parts of my mind that believed that I could be in danger. And as that occurred, the banking situation, some other situations started to, I still had to do things, but everything occurred without struggle, without panic, without my attacking. And there was even a place in this process, which was very cool, that I remembered that the people who apparently attacked me and stole from me were my brothers. And I found within me this place of peace that allowed me to begin to bless them. That which I give to myself. To give and to receive are one in truth. These brothers became my blessed friends and my teachers. They lit up for me a place inside of me that I was still very attached to, the belief that I could be attacked. And when I began to bless them and to love them and to thank them, something very, very significant changed inside of me. And so I'm sharing that this all, happened just in the last week, just since we talked, last week. And it was so powerful that I absolutely know that my world has changed. And when Chris told me he couldn't join with me today here, and he offered this space, I immediately said yes, and what I want to do, if you'll join me, and watch this part when you have the ability to sit still for a few minutes. And it's a piece in the healing that you can, you can watch over and over again. I've done it in some private groups and some teachings, but I'm feeling very, very inspired to share now. I share it just with an open heart because I love you. And it's really just working through the lessons in a different kind of way. And so if you take a minute, please, to sit and settle, what I'd like you to do for just a moment is to breathe and to bring up something that you believe is attacking you, or that you are worried about, or that you need a solution to, something that appears to be affecting your ability to be at peace in this moment. And allow yourself to feel it. Not in, don't feel it to the point of view of, going into panic, but just allow it to essentially come up and be placed on the altar. I'll give you just a second to do that. And now let it go if you can, though, allow it to be whatever it's going to be in your mind, in your space. Allow whatever thoughts to come up, but don't hold on to them. Don't try to fix anything. Just breathe in, close your eyes or keep them open if you want. But from this space now, recognize that nothing you see has any meaning. Nothing that you are experiencing right now means anything on its own. You have given it all the meaning it has for you. And neither you nor I or any egoic mind or persona knows, understands what it's for. And that any thought that you have relative to it, these thoughts that you've been thinking that have been shaping this story, issue, problem, concern, relationship, don't mean anything. That you're never upset for the reason you think. You get upset because you see something that isn't here. You're seeing only the past. Your mind is preoccupied with past thoughts, and you are not seeing what is here now. If you are at anything other than divine intrinsic peace, then your thoughts they don't mean anything. And your meaningless thoughts, they're showing you a meaningless world. You will get upset when you see a meaningless world, and that meaningless world engenders fear. Be willing to see that God did not create a meaningless world. Your thoughts, my thoughts, they're the images that we have made. We have no neutral thoughts. We see no neutral things. We are not alone in experiencing the effects of our seeing. We are not alone in experiencing the effects of our thoughts. Be willing to see. Be willing to see things differently. When you're stuck in the problem, the situation, the concern, the worry, the fear, then what you've been seeing is a form of vengeance. And you can escape it by giving up all attack thoughts. You're not perceiving your own best interest. You do not know what anything is for. Attack thoughts will attack your invulnerability. Above all else, be determined to see. Above all else, be determined to see things differently. God is in everything you see. God is in everything you see because God is in your mind. You are not a victim of the world you see. You invented the world you see. You can see things differently. I can see things differently. You can see peace instead of this. Your mind is part of God's. You are very holy. Your holiness envelops everything you see. Your holiness blesses the world. You are blessed as the Son of God. God goes with you. Wherever God envelops everything you see. God blesses you. Feels so good. Your holiness envelops everything you see. Your holiness blesses the world. My brothers, my friends, there is nothing your holiness cannot do. Your holiness is our salvation. You are blessed as the Son of God. God goes with you wherever you go. God is your strength. Vision is His gift. God is your source. You cannot see without Him. God is the light with which you see. God is the mind with which you think. God is the strength with which you trust. In which you trust. God is the mind in which you think. God is the love in which you forgive. God is the strength in which you trust. There is nothing to fear. The voice of God goes with you wherever you go. You are sustained by the love of God. The peace of God is shining in you now. Feel the love of God within you now. Choose the joy of God instead of pain. Take a moment. Rest in God. You are as God created you. Breathe it in. Rest in God. I am so grateful to have had the moment to share this with you. I am so grateful for my friendship with Chris. I am so grateful for everything that we are learning and remembering through the teachings in A Course in Miracles. I love you. I intend to be back again next week, perhaps with Chris, or with another friend, or with whatever is flowing through, waiting to be shared. I'd love to hear your comments. Let me know if there's anything ever that I can do for you, and know that your beauty is lighting up the world. Bye now. Love you.